Hello traders, Sid here with another trade recap. Before jumping into today's trade, let's take a look at what's going on in the market because that's very important. And in today's trade recap, I will break down all the trades that I took in a little bit more depth. Okay, so today, what happened in the market is we had this diamond formation. So it started forming when we pushed higher towards 443, and then we dumped back again in a furious fashion towards 437, and then we rally back again. I was expected it to rally up to 445 to break this diamond formation, but that didn't happen. Now most of the traders don't want to consider the pre-market hours while charting, so let's move towards ES1, which tracks which is a S&P 500 mini futures, and let's see what happens over there. So as you can see here, we can clearly see that the diamond formation was in play, and at the same time it's kind of like similar to SPY, but this is what SPY tracks to, so this is more important. And usually there is no after hours, and it basically trades throughout the day. So this is really important to understand. And after this diamond formation, we had this FOMC meeting. Going into FOMC meeting, we finished that diamond formation, and then we broke right when the meeting starts, or right when they published their notes of the meeting, and we rallied up, and then we dropped back again towards 442.94. Then we rallied back again, and then we dumped again. And this is basically like a repeating cycle again and again throughout the day, throughout the weeks, for last couple of weeks, and it's kind of like continuous. It continued today at least. So let's see what's going to happen tomorrow, because now Fed meeting is over. Fed was not Fed didn't discuss anything specific to tapering or rising interest rate in depth. So it was kind of like a it was kind of like a mild, nothing much happened over there. So it would be interesting to see like how market will react in the following days. So right now, if as you can see here, we sold off pretty aggressively over here, and we stopped trading at it. So probably we will see some kind of like a retest of this low around 428, and then bounce back again to 434 33 level. So we are just like range bound for days, and probably that will continue at least for this week. I would be surprised if we pick a direction and move towards it. Okay, now let's jump into today's trade. So now just pay attention over here, because I was extremely satisfied with my entry and exit point today, because all my entries were like very calculated and based on the fundamentals, or what the direction or actual price action provided by the market, instead of entering into the trade based on just a feeling like, hey, it seems like a nice setup, just enter into the trade. No, setup was there. I checked other factors as well, and then I entered into the trade. Now on SPY, right out of the gate, it started selling off, but that sell off was not like a severe sell off. It was like mild sell off, and I was thinking about entering into the trade right over here, but then I started seeing this curling action, and I thought like, okay, it's not a good time to enter into the trade. So I waited for it. As you guys can see here, moving over moving average crossover crossed right over here, and this indicator has the signals to show you exactly where it is actually crossing over, not just by lines where they cross over each other, but it actually tells you like, okay, now trend has reversed. You can pick up the direction according to the trend or plan your trade accordingly. So this is what happened over here. Then I didn't enter into the trade. I let it go where it wants to go. I was like, I was watching this price action very constantly, very consistently, not constantly. So when it crossed over again, now pay attention over here. Now when it crossed over again, and when the bull runs kind of like stopped and bear run starts, so you, as you guys can see here, this arrow indicates that okay, now trend has been reversed. So I followed that, but I didn't jump into the trade right away because we were close to VWAP, volume weighted average price, and I was expected some kind of like a bounce from there. So it bounced from there, and this is the point. When I saw the weakness in that candle, I jumped into the trade and I sold my position on the next candle on this drop down. Now why I did that is because I don't, considering the market condition, I don't want to hold for a longer period of time. I quickly close my position. So this is where I got 25 cents per contract, so $50 of profit over here. Now the next trade that I took was right when Fed meeting starts. Okay, now I took like right exactly when the Fed meeting starts, I took one trade that was in my Tdameritrade cash account. And I got $100 over there. That was a nice trade, quick, simple, and easy trade. I will cover that trade later in the week. Not now. I don't have enough time now. But let's move on to the next trade. So as Fed meeting was going on, as Powell was speaking, we started dropping even more. Now it was quite tempting to get into this price action where downtrend was clearly defined, but I didn't want to get into the trade because I feel it like, hey, let's go into the trade. I let it rebound from 434 and let it retest this fast moving average or 12 EMA. And when it retest, I enter into the trade with 2 contracts as a put. And this trade was kind of like a very calculated, because to open this trade I use OCO, or it's kind of like a bracket trades, where one trade cancels the other. So that feature is available on Thinkorswim. I don't know if any other platform provides that or something similar, but that was a very handy feature. So I set up a template to give 10% of the profit. So I enter into the trade right over here, and when it drops, I basically automatically sold off my position. So same thing happened over here. Here moving average crossed over, but as you guys can see here, the crossover confirmation, we got it over here, not over here. Even though we can see that both fast moving average and slow moving average crossed over here, we got confirmation over here. But even though that confirmation was not that strong, we continued to have sideways price action going into the close. But when it broke and retest this 333 level again, I jumped into the trade. And as my previous trade, I use OCO bracket trade to trigger to enter and exit into the exit from the trade. So that's what I did over here. Both trade pro gave me $40 each. So on an average, throughout the 3 trades that I took on SPY, I earned $130. So that's like a good clean profit, calculated profit all 3 trades were calculated. Now let's go to see the actual trades just for your confirmation. So these are the SPY trade. This was my first trade, these were my second trade, and these were my last trade. Now in between that I took one contract JNPR because the trading group that I joined, they got a notification that there was some bullish option activity going into the 32 strike. So, and the contracts were very cheap, kind of like a 60-75 cents. I got filled in for 75 and sold it for 80 because I didn't like the overall chart of JNPR, so I just kind of like sold it right away instead of taking a risk for $10 profit. So overall made $140 today. So yes guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little bit and learned something from it. And that's it for this video guys. See you again in next video and have a good night.